What's good, YouTube? Let's come back at you with more MMA/UFC news, and I see a very interesting matchup brewing. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Alright. I see a very interesting matchup brewing. I forget who was the last person. I'm trying to see who the last person Strickland fought was. I don't know how I could forget. Jack Hermanson. All right, that was a boring fight. I actually watched that fight in the bar, and it was completely shit. Sean Strickland has this style where he's just gonna move forward aggressively. Like, he's not the most technical. It becomes a really boring pace, and it really surprises me. I like Sean Strickland. I like him as a person, and I kind of like him as a fighter. But it just surprises me that style is so effective, because you gotta be a little psycho. Like, you gotta be a little crazy to pull that style off. Like, think about it, bro. Like, it's so easy to get knocked out, and then he's fighting Alex Pereira, or Pereira, however you pronounce it, I don't even know. And this is a guy with power. Not only does he have power, but he's a very, very, very top, high-level kickboxer. Now, I know this is MMA. I know this is a UFC. It's a completely, MMA is completely different. You got the 4-ounce gloves, head movement. But with a style like Sean Strickland's and the way that he just moves forward, I'm actually surprised that he hasn't been knocked out. I know he lost to Kamaru Usman. That was what? Wasn't that by decision? I believe that was by decision. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, like the fact that he moved up a weight class and he hasn't been getting knocked out, just kind of walking people down. You literally see him throw 1-2 teep. You know what I'm saying? 1-2-3 teep, 2. Like, those are the kind of combinations he throws. So this is really interesting. But at the same time, he's been doing MMA. He's more experienced in MMA. So I'm very excited about this matchup. I know that if he's smart, he's going to grapple, but I would really like to see him have that same style. I want to see if he's going to have the balls to do that, because this is MMA, so there are many differences that we're going to get into later, but I want to read more into this so I can see, like, if this is confirmed or if they're just trying to, it does say targeted, but we'll see. So, a UFC middleweight matchup between Sean Strickland and Alex Pereira is in the works for UFC 277. Pereira, famous for his multiple kickboxing wins over reigning middleweight champion Israel Adesanya. We're going to get into this too, because I truly feel like they're trying to basically, like, launch him into a title shot so that they can make a lot of money on that rematch. He's 2-0 against Israel. First fight was by decision, second fight was by knockout. So, and I really doubt that'll happen in MMA. I'm just being honest, but we'll get into this. Has impressed since making his UFC debut. The 34-year-old earned a TKO victory over Andris Michailidis in November last year, and earlier this month defeated Bruno Silva via unanimous decision. That fight was kind of ass. I ain't gonna lie. He needs to work on his takedown defense for sure, because that was not as an impressive fight. It actually didn't even look unanimous to me, but he won. I watched that live. Strickland, meanwhile, is on a 6-fight win streak, having most recently defeated Jack Hermanson via split decision in February. Another really boring fight. His next bout with Pereira, which has reportedly been verbally agreed to, could act as a title eliminator. Following his last victory, Pereira called out number 2 ranked Jared Cannonier. That would be fucking interesting. But I'm glad that he didn't get that fight yet. Oh, Jared is ranked number 2. Holy shit, he might be next for the title. Damn, I gotta make another video about that. So as to fast track his rise through the middleweight rankings by facing number 4 ranked Strickland, the unranked Pereira will have the opportunity to enter the middleweight top 5 and possibly earn a title shot again against Adesanya. Particularly given his history with the champ, Strickland too can possibly earn a matchup with Adesanya if he's victorious against Pereira. His impressive run of form, coupled with the fact that he's yet to face the champ, could see him earn an immediate title shot. There is, however, still Cannonier to consider in the equation, who's also yet to face Adesanya. What I think they're going to do, if Cannonier doesn't fight Adesanya next, the winner of this fight is going to fight Cannonier. They might do that. They might do the winner, because who else is going to fight Adesanya? He cleared out the division. So I think the winner of this fight gets Cannonier. If they don't just set up Cannonier and Adesanya. And that would be really interesting. So back to what I was saying about the different styles. First of all, I think Sean Strickland, out of all 3 of these guys, just being very honest, I think Sean Strickland gets picked apart the worst by Israel Adesanya. Like, I think Sean Strickland has the absolute hardest time because, like I said, his style, first of all, there's not many people, like, he doesn't have the wrestling credentials to successfully hold Izzy down. That's one. You're going to need someone like a Hamzat that I truly believe could just take Izzy down and hold him there. Or just ground and pound him and not give him a chance to get up in his weight class. Sean Strickland doesn't have those credentials. Izzy is lanky. He knows how to use his length to avoid being taken down and holding down. He knows how to use the cage to stay in good position, which would what? That would leave Sean Strickland to stand with him. Now, this is where Izzy and Alex Pereira and a lot of other kickboxers differ because the worry with Pereira, the reason I say this is going to be interesting is because Pereira is one of those kickboxers that although he has the power, he's high level, he does have that one fatal thing beside wrestling that a lot of kickboxers have coming into this sport, which is lack of head movement. See, Adesanya moves his head so much that, you know, with those, a couple of that with those 4-ounce gloves, it's like he can strike like a high-level kickboxer, but then he has the head movement of a boxer. So all of that, just walking forward with your chin down, biting on your mouthpiece, you're just going to become a big-ass target for him. Whereas for Pereira, I'm not saying you won't become a target for him as well, but Sean Strickland also has the chance of hitting him back. I don't really see Sean Strickland getting much opportunity to touch Izzy. You see what I'm saying? So that's why this is interesting, because we got a very, very high-level kickboxer that, you know, it's really what he is. He's a kickboxer. He didn't come into the sport with, like, you know, like that sharp-ass MMA striking. He still uses his kickboxing stuff. He's still getting comfortable. And then we got a dude who is just a fucking machine, just moving forward and chin down, throwing shots, and just no remorse for human life. I really don't know who's going to win this. If I had to bet money, I mean, I have to watch some more Sean Strickland, because if I'm just going based on what I've seen, I would have to say Pereira just because of the way that Sean fights. Literally, that would be it. But the difference is that, remember how I said Sean could take down Israel Adesanya? I don't think that Sean can't take down Israel Adesanya. I don't think Sean will have trouble taking down Pereira if he's even decent. These are the big differences. That's why coming into this sport, I feel like if Pereira were to have that third fight with Izzy, he would just get smoked. Because as much as people want to think, oh, Izzy's a striker, Pereira knocked him out. Oh, it's a different sport. The striking is the striking is decently different. You have to move decently different. There's a lot of differences between MMA striking and kickboxing. Down all the way down to the stance, bro. And like I say, a lot of kickboxers, they come into the sport with the lack of head movement that puts them and keeps them in bad position. That's why you'll see a kickboxer, K1 glory kickboxer, come into MMA and get knocked out by a fucking wrestler. Because, you feel me, niggas they don't get their head off the center line often. And that's the downfall of many kickboxers. That's what makes Izzy kind of a special case. Now, I do think it's pretty interesting. I really do think that they should basically make the winner of this get Jared. And I say that because that right there, I'm just going to keep it honest, bro. I think Jared smokes Strickland. I think Jared actually can beat both of these dudes. But I feel like, you know, when you have someone, mainly because Jared likes to strike, someone like Pereira can be an issue. Can be. Because remember, Pereira, someone tell me if I'm saying it right, but he gets hit. We saw in his last fight, he gets hit. And both Sean Strickland and Jared are not people you want to let hit you how he let that last unknown dude who I already forgot hit him. He was getting hit. Yeah, he was hitting the dude back. He was returning fire, but 4-ounce gloves, man, especially a man like the killer gorilla Jared Cannonier, those 4-ounce gloves will lay you the fuck out. You don't want to be leaving your chin in the air like he was doing, so... This is a real interesting time for the middleweight division, man. I'm loving the state of the middleweight division, and I'm extremely happy about this matchup, man. I hope this gets materialized, and whew, the middleweight division is finally exciting again, man. Let me know what you guys think and who you guys think would win in this matchup right here. Like I said, I truly believe that, it's hard, but I'm leaning a little more to Pereira if Sean Strickland decides to stand. You know, I'm gonna go watch more Sean Strickland footage, and then if this fight actually gets confirmed and it gets closer, I'll have a better analysis, because I've just been watching him since recent times. You know what I'm saying? Like his last 4 fights, I think, and then I watched that he fought Kamaru Usman. Jared, I feel like, can beat both of these guys simply because he's just more technically sound in the MMA aspect, and he's more balanced. Like I feel like he's a better striker than him, but better MMA fighter than him. He may not be a better straight up striker, but all Jared knows is MMA. So his striking is specifically for MMA. That's literally like how he has the head movement. He made sure that things like that is what I mean when I say like his strike. He learned how to strike for MMA. He wouldn't have the same issues like Pereira with getting his head off the center line, and that's what matters the most. I'm not gonna sit here and say Jared's a better kickboxer than this man, but in MMA he can be the superior and more advanced striker in the aspect of understanding how to utilize the differences between the two. It doesn't mean he's a better kickboxer though. So I think Jared beats them both, but between these two, I'm leaning slightly more toward Pereira, depending. If this dude, Sean Strickland, has a decent wrestling caliber, it's kind of wrapped for Pereira because we've seen what happened to him. We've literally seen how, he can get taken down and have a really hard time getting up. But, hey, man, let me know what you guys think. I'm really excited about the state of the middleweight division, and I'll keep posting MMA news and keeping you guys updated, even though I'm pretty sure most of you already saw this coming. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Adi 5000.